Bucko Bruce is back. The Buccaneers have announced that Week 6, October 15th, 2023, against the Detroit Lions at Raymond James Stadium, we will be wearing our throwback uniforms, the Creamsicles. It's interesting that we're going to be playing the Detroit Lions doing this because they used to be our old NFC North rivals, along with the Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears, and Minnesota Vikings back when we were in that division. So it's pretty apropos. Personally, I was hoping that we were going to play the throwback uniforms against the Eagles because the Eagles are going to be wearing their throwback uniforms sometime this year. And I just thought it would have been neat if both teams would have done it at the same time. Now, during this, Raymond James Stadium is going to be transformed into the old sombrero. That's the old stadium that the Buccaneers used to play at. Now, of course, they can't do a full transformation, but they're going to change the banners and the color schemes and the stuff on the TV and all that good stuff to make it, match the throwback uniforms. Now, the last time the Buccaneers wore their throwback uniforms was in 2012. It was against the Saints, and we ended up losing that game. We actually wore the throwback uniforms for 4 years in a row, from 2009 to 2012, I think it was. And we only won one game, but it was a spectacular game. It was Josh Freeman's first start, and it was against the Green Bay Packers, and he did a fantastic come-from-behind win. It was actually the game that Molly became a fan of the Buccaneers, so there's a little bit of history with that too. And it was a great game, and it gave me something to associate good times with the Buccaneer throwback uniform, the creamsicle uniform with. I became a fan in 1997 when they changed the uniform to the pewter and red. I was a big Hardy Nickerson fan. He came over to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I was just like, I just can't like that team because, one, they were bad, and two, I did not like the Creamsicles. But then when they changed the uniform, which I felt was kind of a sign that, hey, I need to be a fan of this team, I jumped right on board with it. Now I appreciate the Creamsicle uniforms. I like this, once a year. I hope we keep this up where we play where we use the throwback uniforms at least once a year. Like I said, this was Josh Freeman's first start. He took over from Josh Johnson, who had previously taken over from Byron Leftwich, who started the season as a starter. And those two, they just played so bad that Josh Freeman came in against Green Bay Packers and actually broke a 7-game losing streak that the Buccaneers had in 2009 to start the season. So the iconic creamsicle uniforms were very impactful that year, and they put a special place in my heart for it. Now, the only player to play currently with the Buccaneers that have worn the creamsicle uniforms is Levante David. He came in the league in 2012, which was the last year that we used the throwback uniforms. And he has not worn the throwback uniforms until this year. And this year might be his last year. It looks like it could be heading in that direction. So I think that would be neat for him to have bookended his career with the creamsicle uniforms. So I just find all that interesting. It's going to be very exciting to see how the Buccaneers look and play. Of course, I would have loved to have seen Tom Brady in the creamsicle uniforms. It just wasn't turned out to be. But we've got a whole new team, basically. We've got a whole new offensive coordinator. It's a good time to bring back the creamsicle uniforms. Bucko Bruce, man. Let's bring it. Let's bring it. All right, guys. That's good news. That's fun news. So, till next time, go Bucs.